And before we really dive in, what's worth discussing are changes to Google's algorithm, right? So last year, Google mentioned that they updated their algorithm more than 500 times, which is more than once a day, right? Most of these changes are minor; they're very small, and a normal user wouldn't notice them. But every year to year and a half, there's a substantial algorithm update that like changes the game, right? So there was a bunch of them back in the day: Hilltop, Florida, Big Daddy, Google Suggest. We don't need to go over too many of these, but the big ones more recently that are going to come up a lot are Panda, Penguin, and Hummingbird. Panda was an update to remove low-quality content out of the index. Penguin was an update to remove sites that had low-quality backlinks pointing to them. And if what I'm saying sounds like gibberish, don't worry. We'll talk about all these things in a little bit. And then more recently, there were other things around that were much more technical. An HTTPS update where Google wanted to incentivize webmasters to make their site HTTPS. The mobile get-in update, which was pretty recent. Google tried to push everyone to make their sites responsive so that they work nice on mobile phones. And the quality update was a more recent one that people don't really understand yet, but it was definitely a rankings update, and we're still not really sure what Google was looking for with that. But there was a pretty good ranking shakeup there. Helped out my site a lot, actually, which was great. So yeah, you don't need to like sit down and memorize these updates or anything like that. But just the point is that if you just were learning SEO and then you stopped and you like shut off the world and never learned another thing again, you'd probably be out of date within a year. And it's not like there's been fundamental changes, but there's little things, right? HTTPS as a ranking factor, mobile get-in as a ranking factor. These are like things that seem to change a little bit. So the way to think about it is what Google's looking for is like a living, breathing document. Yeah, it's a really good question. So the question is how do we figure this out? Does Google talk about it publicly? How do you figure out what's going on? So there is an entire industry around search engine reporting. There's multiple sites, SEO Moz or Moz now, Search Engine Land, Search Engine Watch. Moz has a new tool called the SEO algorithm weather forecast. And it essentially tracks a lot of keywords over a number of different industries. And when it sees big fluctuations, like every day it'll say like, oh, it's 72 degrees and sunny. And then when there's big fluctuations, it's like, oh, it's stormy, it's 51 degrees, right? So there's that. Google does also publicly talk about some things on the Google Webmaster blog. It was Matt Cutts for a while, and they would say, hey, we're doing this, here's why we're doing it, A, B, and C, here's when we're going to roll it out. Other times, there are industry reports on it first, and then like a month later, Google will say, yeah, we did that. So it's a little bit random. It never seems to be the same thing twice. So yeah, good question. So algorithm updates happen all the time because Google realized very early on, search is the backbone of everything that they do.